Hey guys, Pete Weintraub here. I'm a permanent weight loss specialist. Today's video is about how dietary fat is not the enemy when you're embarking on your health and weight loss journey. Before I get into that, I just want to go over a little bit about what's going on with me and my day. So it's a warm, humid day here on Long Island with sporadic showers here and there. And when I mean humid, it's humid. With the weather, though, coming around nicely overall, now is a good time to start getting outdoors more, even if it's just for a walk around the block. My softball season starts next week, which I'm extremely excited about. It's my favorite pastime activity that keeps me sane when I'm otherwise working. Anyhow, today I want to talk about not being afraid of dietary fat. I've harped on this in the past, but if you're new to watching this video or listening to my podcast, reading my blogs, however you're ingesting my content, then I'd like to reiterate some points. Here in the United States, we've been taught that dietary fat is the devil. Not only is it supposed to make us fat, but it's supposed to clog our arteries, raise cholesterol levels, be cancerous, and make us susceptible to heart disease. With this line of thought drilled into our brains since elementary school, it's hard to think anything different. Unfortunately, the dietary guidelines in this country are absolutely backwards. The food pyramid, now known as My Plate, recommends we eat 50% or more of our diet from starchy carbohydrates like grains, potatoes, corn, and lentils, with a moderate amount of protein, no more than 30% of your daily intake, and little to no dietary fat, which is supposed to be used sparingly, between 0 to 10% of your daily intake. While the assessment on sugar has changed for the better, there's still quite a bit of work to be done in terms of what's being taught to the general public. Weight gain, weight retention, and health issues occur due to a couple of things: inflammation, and even more so, insulin response, or lack thereof. When we eat a high-carb, high-starch, high-sugar diet like so many people in this country do, we trigger a response called the insulin resistance cycle. When we ingest a high-carb food, our pancreases produce insulin, a hormone meant to regulate blood sugar. It's one thing if we severely elevate our blood sugar here and there, but when this is done regularly, we can begin to become insulin resistant, which means that the excess carbohydrate in our system that we don't need is stored as fat. Insulin resistance is a fancy way of saying what type 2 diabetes really is, which is why so many folks who struggle with their weight are either pre-diabetic or type 2 diabetic. Just an FYI, unlike pre-diabetes or type 2 diabetes, type 1 diabetes is not curable at this time and can at best be managed with proper diet, exercise, and sometimes medication. It's also not caused by the same variables that cause pre-diabetes or type 2 diabetes. But just think about this rationally for a second. If we eat such a high-carb diet and insulin is being deployed on an insane scale day in and day out, we're really playing with fire, and it's only a matter of time before we get burned. But what about eating more of a high-protein diet, like what the Atkins diet suggests? Well, while protein elicits a much lower insulin response than carbohydrates, it still elicits an insulin response. If we eat an insanely high-protein diet, so again, anything above 30% of your daily intake, and doing that on a regular basis, then this isn't very good for us or our insulin response either. Throw in the damage this can do to your kidneys from ingesting too much protein regularly, and we're also playing with fire on a different scale. Dietary fat, on the other hand, does not elicit an insulin response. It is the only neutral macronutrient human beings eat, which means it has little to no effect on our insulin levels. The only time that it does is when our body's in a starvation mode because we're eating too little, and as a result, our chemical processes inside change, and everything we eat, good, bad, or indifferent, is stored as fat. Fat does not clog our arteries, it does not raise cholesterol, or any of the things we've been taught since we were little kids. In fact, it's absolutely essential to optimal health. Healthy fats help improve cognition, elevate our moods, provide longer, more sustained energy levels, and lubricate our joints, helping to alleviate quite a bit of the aches and pains most of us feel on a regular basis. Some of my favorite fatty foods involve organic eggs, organic avocados, organic raw nuts and seeds, and organic uncured bacon. The only type of dietary fat you need to avoid are trans fats, and these are found mostly in processed foods, though luckily most major food manufacturers no longer allow trans fats to be included because they're not legally allowed to anymore. one of the few good things Congress has done. Trans fats are man-made carcinogens, which occur when vegetable oils high in omega-6 fats are heated beyond their boiling point. When this happens, the oil hydrogenates, its chemical composition changes, and a cooking oil that was once healthy is now harmful. So, to sum things up, dietary fat is not the enemy. High sugar, high starch, and processed carbs are. Slowly add in some healthy fats like the ones I mentioned earlier into your diet, and this will help keep you fuller longer, will give you sustained energy levels, and will help to alleviate aches, pains, and even brain fog. Until tomorrow. Hey guys, Pete Weintraub here. I'm a permanent weight loss specialist. Thanks so much for watching the video. If you can do me a favor, please click the link below and subscribe to the channel. Every day I'm going to be popping out new content that will enable you to learn more about nutrition, fitness, and mindset as it relates to permanent weight loss. Now, there's a million programs out there that talk about how to lose weight. There are shows on TV like Extreme Weight Loss and The Biggest Loser. The problem is all of these show short-term fixes that aren't exactly healthy either. I'm more about doing this in a healthy, sustainable way so that you can achieve permanent results. So you only have to do this once. So what I'd like to gift you, if you're interested, is check out my website at weightlossbypete.com. There's going to be an opt-in on the page where you can get a free report detailing the 5 strategies that I personally used to lose 100 pounds, keep it off for good, and now my mission is to help as many people as I can to do the same without the research, trial and error, and years spent plateauing, not knowing what to do from a nutritional, fitness, or even mental standpoint. So check that out. I'd love to gift that to you. And feel free to check out the channel and any upcoming videos. Feel free to go back and look at my older ones. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll talk to you tomorrow.